Well, Boredar or Prenowndar, every pony, this is BronyDan. It's not original, but hey, you try coming of reality these days. Pembloid Happis, my little pony, friendship is magic. Yes, you've heard it right, folks. We are celebrating 5 years of this great show and its fandom. This is as big a milestone as the 100th episode. And how do they pull it off? Well, let's take a look at the episode that aired on the exact same day as the first episode, Crusaders of the Lost Mark. So we start off the episode with the Cutie Mark Crusaders doing what they've always done, try and discover their cutie marks.
We've run out of ideas. Are you kidding me, Crusaders? We can do better than that. We've been searching for cutie marks for...
Hello! Song? Yeah, I don't think we've had a song performed before the opening credits since Magical Mystery Cure back in Season 3. So could this mean this episode could be taking a revolutionary change that could take these characters we love so much into a new direction? Nah, it's probably just coincidence. However, we see the arrival of Equestria's on and off British accent Pipsqueak, as he explains that he is running for class president and wishes the CMC to be his campaign managers.
Our playground equipment took quite a beating during Twilight's battle with Tyrek.
Thanks for the nod to continuity.
Well, I think that's a ridiculous waste of money.
And thank you so much for bringing this bitch back in. Yep, Diamond Tiara is also running for class president as we get yet another song.
It's time to make a change. This is our chance. Don't be afraid to do what's right. Easy. All for Pip.
It's quite catchy, I'll admit that. It's a nice way to help move the story along as we cheer for the CMC and Pipsqueak while Diamond Tiara tries to win the voters over by pretty much rubbing her wealth in their faces. So we have someone who is in an election, is incredibly unlikable, and yet tries to win the voters over by making promises to those beneath her that could help them, but will ultimately do nothing for them. The more I'm thinking about this is sounding like... Thatcher! Well, as a surprise to no one, Pip manages to win against Diamond Tiara, and even Silver Spoon has had enough of her shit.
Because I tried to help by mentioning your surprise statue, and suddenly I wasn't even allowed to speak. You could have actually won this election if you just listened to me. You want to know how? Sorry, I'm not allowed to speak.
Yeah, you tell her, Silver. That bitch deserves every scorn and hatred you could throw at her. I mean, even if she has a backstory about a mother who has taught her to always win and not associate with those beneath her. Which could explain why she doesn't really have any friends and why she is wishing she could be somebody else, thus developing her character through a rather heartbreaking song, which in turn makes the audience connect and sympathize with her. If you haven't unsubscribed by this point after that outburst, the option is now open to you. So the CMC, actually feeling sorry for Diamond Tiara, decide to invite her back to their clubhouse where we get more character development out of her as she lets slip that she really doesn't know what her cutie mark is really about. But before we can get any further with that, Pip turns back up to explain how the school board doesn't have enough money to fix the playground. So Diamond Tiara decides to rush back over to the school and get reinstated.
Cutie Mark Crusaders, get out of my way.
Okay, this is officially a musical episode. I think this song is quite an important one. Its fast pace helps in speeding up to the final act, and it does give you a sense of panic. We do feel that Diamond knows that what she is doing is wrong, but she's just so caught up in her mother's beliefs that she honestly doesn't care for the consequences for the other ponies, as long as she is living up to her mother's expectations. So we arrive at the school where we see that Diamond Tiara's mother is waiting to give out more bile about purity and blood and whatever. Wait a minute. I just realised something. Diamond Tiara is not Margaret Thatcher. She's Draco Malfoy! Yeah, really think about it. Both have been raised by parents who want to be seen in the higher circles of society. Both have been taught by said parents that they are better than everyone else, and thus that superiority complex completely takes over their lives as they bully those that are beneath them. And much like Malfoy, Diamond Tiara stands up to her mother and decides to distance herself from her ideology to get more acquainted with the likes of those that she once considered her enemies. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm only now figuring this out. So we get a reprise of Diamond Tiara's song as she rediscovers her cutie mark, while the CMC decide that maybe they shouldn't try to spend so much time finding their own marks, but maybe to help those figure out what theirs mean. Kind of like what they did with Troubleshoes back in Appaloosa's Most Wanted.
So what do you say, Crusaders? Want to just focus on helping others find their cutie marks? Yeah!
Wait, what? Don't you dare tease me, so don't you dare tease me. You did it back in Flight to the Finish.
What happened? What's going on? It's your cutie marks. They're amazing. We all got the same cutie mark. Cutie mark Crusaders forever.
They did it! They actually did it! Yes! Whoa, 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 whoa! 5 years, people! We have waited 5 fucking years for this to happen, and it has! Oh god, I am just so full of the emotions right now that I'm just gonna end the episode right here, because, by god, this was fantastic! Do I need to explain anything? I haven't gotten this emotional for an episode since Magical Mystery Cure, and as much as I loved that episode, despite its flaws, I do have to say that this episode was much better. The fact that Diamond Tiara was actually able to get redeemed would have been enough, but the fact that finally the CMC have got their cutie marks just knocked it out of the park, especially since it's appropriate for both camps. Remember, Diamond Tiara was the one who essentially brought the CMC together, and it was her in the end that got them to achieve their cutie marks. It's that close dynamic that eventually makes the end much more powerful. There really was no better way to celebrate 5 years of this show than bring its longest running story element to a satisfying closure. This is BronyDan saying once again, Pembloid Happis, my little pony.